Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian at Whisper Status 74. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the channel. If this is the first time you are seeing me, please consider liking and subscribing. This is the Spears and Munsil demo disc, which is in 8K. You are seeing it with an LG CX at the bottom at 55 inches versus an Panasonic S60 plasma on the wall, which is actually 65 inches. This is part 2 of the comparison between the two. I don't really feel it's versus one or the other, as there are more siblings just kind of hanging out together, as I do feel that OLED was the next step of plasma. Those of us that love plasma wanted to see it continue. Unfortunately, it did not. We miss Panasonic here in the States very much. You guys in Europe and in the UK are still enjoying their new OLEDs. This is an 8K demo. It is obviously 1080p on the plasma. HDR is disabled. It is playing in SDR. The camera is filming it at 4K 60. In the very beginning, you saw some banding. That is due to the frame rate. You'll see it pop in here and there. What I want to highlight is how amazing the plasma still looks. It can't hang necessarily in brightness, but in depth and in black levels, it's right there. Plasma does inherently have some of the artifacting as if you get up very, very close, but it is absolutely beautiful still. Plasma is still my main display in my living room, which is why it's on my wall. And there's a reason that many people still feel that plasma is the best display technology, especially the Kuro Elite, the VT60, the ZT60. Even Samsung made amazing plasmas, the brightest of all time. There'll be no editing in this. This is being filmed again 4K 60. There are no intros. The aperture of the camera is left as it's natural. We started kind of a few clicks into this demo as it's longer than I have capability to film it in one shot. Now, if you see on this screen that you just saw, there's more detail on the plasma. That's just the camera, as the OLED is closer. But it is amazing how a display from many years ago can actually still hang in there. And I think some of you will actually prefer the plasma's image quality, as it is more natural. And the black level still allows a little bit more shadow detail than perhaps the OLED does. There are times where they actually look nearly identical, like here. Specular highlights, obviously there are more on the OLED, and the blacks are better on the OLED. That blooming you're seeing is from the camera, as changing the aperture to adjust for that just makes the blacks crush. We're in my a large living room, so you'll see some of the light bouncing off the walls. Both displays are pretty bright for what they are. They're both in cinema mode. Both have a warm color preset. Motion is disabled on both. The Panasonic S60 was not the top of the line of that year. It was actually the bottom of the line. There was the ST60, the VT60, and the ZT60. They were the last of the great plasmas. However, like OLED, even the bottom rung of that technology still looks spectacular, which is why it's still my main display. I couldn't bring them closer together as I do have furniture that is in the way. But I figured you might appreciate this comparison. The black detail that so many of you see lost against the LED Sony is more evident here and less evident on the plasma. Amazing how close the colors are. Again, the camera crushes those blacks, but the eyeballs on the owl previously are more evident on an LED, even more so than the plasma. This video will cut off at about 9 minutes, so you may not be able to see the entire demo. But check the description below for Spears and Munsil demo disc. Amazing how beautiful both displays are, which is why I always recommend OLEDs for former plasma owners. We will actually reloop it until the time runs out. Seeing how the plasma's frame rate wreaks havoc in there. But what's amazing is how cool the LED or the OLED looks compared to an LCD, but not nearly as cool as here. Sorry about the artifacting on the plasma. But OLED versus LED, that scene looks bluish. Against another, against the plasma, it doesn't. All right, guys, I'll say goodbye before it cuts me off.